Hi and welcome. Today I am going to do the first of a new little series that I want to start called Neville Says, where I read a quote from Neville Goddard from one of his many books and then discuss that quote. So today the quote that I'm going to be discussing is about manifesting pretty much anything that you want using this technique that he talks about in this quote. So stick around. Hi, I'm Hedley Derenzie, and I am a qualified life coach, adult educator, and author. I'm also passionate about rewriting and recreating reality using the teachings of the law of assumption as originally taught by Neville Goddard. So, the quality of our stories will determine the quality of your life. And so, if you want to change your life, then you need to tell a better story. If you would like further support, I am available for one-on-one coaching and also email coaching. I've put the details, my contact details in the box below, so you can get in contact with me there. Okay, let's get started. So the quote that I want to read from you today is from Neville Goddard's book, The Law. And the quote is, I have just lost it. Here we go. Enact a scene that implies you have what you desire, and to the degree that you are faithful to that state, it will unfold in your world, and no power can stop it, for there is no other power. I am just going to read that again. A lot of Neville's work, I find you really have to read and listen multiple times. I know that so many of us are aware of these concepts around creating our own realities, but there's something in Neville's teachings that really goes deep. And it's something that I find when I'm listening to one of Neville's lectures or his audiobook, or I'm reading one of his books, I find myself feeling like I have to stop and just let the words settle into my being, because they feel and they are so incredibly profound. And so I just want to read that again. So maybe just close your eyes as you listen to this again. Enact a scene that implies you have what you desire, and to the degree that you are faithful to that state, it will unfold in your world, and no power can stop it, for there is no other power. So I want to talk about this, kind of break it up and talk about this bit by bit. So let's start with enact a scene that implies what you have, enact a scene that implies you have what you desire. So one of the biggest, I guess the most essential elements in creating your reality is knowing what it is that you want. Even that, for some people, can be a really big challenge, because they might have been brought up in a situation where it wasn't okay to want what they wanted. It was all about meeting other people's needs. Certainly for myself, that's been something that I've had to train myself to do, to allow myself to want what I want and to know that it's okay to want what I want. And Neville will say that if you have the desire within you, then the potential for that desire to manifest is also within you. You wouldn't have the desire if it wasn't possible. And Neville also talks about a passage in the Bible, because he talks a lot. Well, a lot of his teachings are from the Bible, and how the Bible was actually a psychological drama and a mystical teaching, not a historical book. And one of the statements, and I don't actually have the correct quote, but it's about there are many mansions, and it's essentially saying that whatever you can imagine and whatever the mind can perceive or conceive, it can achieve. So you wouldn't have a desire if it wasn't possible to experience that desire in the outer world. So whatever desires you have, I just want to, I guess, not that you need anyone's permission, but just give you permission, in a sense, to have that desire and for that to be okay. It is okay to want whatever it is you want, even if you feel that it is the most craziest, the most impossible, the most insane desire. Whatever it is that you want, it is okay. It's okay to want what you want. You are allowed to want what you want. And the whole purpose of being here on this earth is to experience those desires in physical form. That is why we're here. So with that aside, once you have an idea of what it is that you want, it can help maybe just to pick one, start with one. We might have a whole list of things that we want. That's okay too. Have as many desires as you want. So pick one that you would like to really experience, and maybe if you're new to these teachings, maybe start with something that's kind of small, that is not too out there, that you don't have too much of a big resistant story to. So pick something that you want, and then, in the words of Neville, enact a scene that implies you have what you desire. And one of the things that Neville suggests is not necessarily playing out a scene where you're having what you want, but you enact a scene that would imply you already have it. So, for example, if you would like to be married, that's just a sort of a classic example. You might want to enact a scene where you're at the wedding. However, what Neville might say is that you're enacting a scene that implies you are already married. So it might be that you enact a scene where it's your first year anniversary and you are sitting around a table with your partner and you are celebrating, maybe clinking of glasses, in a celebratory act of acknowledging the year that you've had together. So sometime, or you could enact a conversation with a friend where you're telling your friend how amazing it is, how much you love married life and being with your partner, and a conversation that you might have after the fact that you're married that implies that you are already married. And that, I have found, has been a really helpful technique for me. The other thing, he says next, and to the degree that you are faithful to that state. So you hear Neville talking a lot about faith, and faith in the enacted scene, in your imagination, is extremely important in this work. And that, again, I mean, I always say it, that's the game changer. That's the biggest thing I've got out of it. I will continue to say that because it feels like everything that I get out of these teachings is amazing and it is massive. But faith in your vision, in your new story, in the wish fulfilled, is really what is going to bring that into your reality. And so many of us, myself included, have experienced those times where we've wanted something, we've visualized it, and then nothing happens and we're like, oh, well, this doesn't work. This is crap. So no, when it comes to the law of assumption, what we are doing is we are putting our faith in our imagination rather than our reality, because remember, imagination comes first, reality comes second. The world is not the cause, imagination is the cause, and the world or reality just reflects that back. So we really need to get into the practice of having faith in our imagined realities, knowing that they will eventually get outpictured at the time that we don't know. It is not our job to know how that imagined reality will get outpictured or when it will get outpictured, other than just to hold the faith that it will, because we believe in the power of our imagination and our ability to create using our imagination. So essentially, we're having faith in our creative powers, and really that's what this work is about. And sometimes that can involve having faith when the 3D is actually showing us something opposite to our imagined desired outcome. And that is really where the rubber hits the road, is when we can hold the faith in the face of opposition. And sometimes that's not always easy. Sometimes that is easier said than done. There will be days where it's just too hard, but you just start over again the next day. That's just what this work is about. You just keep showing up to yourself, because it is you against you. It's you up against you. It's you with you. So really, you're just showing up to yourself. And on those days where having faith gets hard, you just go, all right, I'm just going to start again tomorrow. Okay, the next part says, it will unfold in your world and no power can stop it. It will unfold in your world and no power can stop it. Now, if you're new to these teachings and you haven't got, you haven't got sort of much under your belt in terms of bringing things into your reality yet, once you start getting a few manifestations coming in, you'll start to build your confidence where you know that imagination comes first and reality comes second. You will really start to build confidence in your creative powers through the use of your imagination, and that will become easier and easier. But certainly while you're getting going, and certainly for some of the first big things that you're wanting to bring in, that will require quite a lot of faith and quite a lot of persistence. However, we can also come back to Neville's teachings and the reassurance that it will unfold in your world and no power can stop it, for there is no other power. And that's a beautiful thing to remember, is that the power of your imagination is the only power. And that power is what gets pushed out and reflected back into reality. Reality is simply the reflection of a vision that has been persisted in your imagination. So if you want it and you can visualize it or imagine it and then persist with that story in your imagination, then it has to manifest in your reality, because there is no other power and reality follows imagination. So, I mean, how awesome is that? It doesn't get much better than that. God bless Neville. My goodness. It's just, what a beautiful teaching. What a beautiful quote. I hope that helps in terms of enabling you to, one, think of something that you want and then be able to enact a scene in your mind and then hold that vision and persist with that new story. Regardless of anything that is happening in your 3D, you just hold that story, you hold that vision, knowing that the power of your imagination will have it projected back to you, because there is no power other than the power of your imagination and your ability to create by simply imagining it. I mean, it's awesome. It's just awesome. So I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. If you have found this useful, please feel free to share and subscribe, or share it with your friends, and also subscribe. I'm going to be doing more of these Neville Said videos, or Neville Says. And that's pretty much it for now. So thanks for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye.